Okay, test, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Let's see what we got going here. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Now we're starting to get people coming in. Long time no see. Test, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. What is going on, people? Check the sound. Check the sound. Check the sound. Test. Test, 1 2 3. How's the sound? Somebody help me out here. Tell me if the sound's okay. What's going on, Tristan Jacobson? All right, got 24 people in the house. What's going on, Beth, Trot, Allison Clausen? Okay, sounds good. Thank you, YouTube, Angela. I'm not sure what Angela that is. Okay, audio's fine. Cool. Aloha. What is going on in the world? Kill the music. All right, we got 26 people now. Okay. Yeah. Been in hibernation for a while. Been on a honeymoon. After 38 months. A little honeymoon with Morgan. Down in Mexico. Haven't been on, obviously haven't done any broadcasting. But I haven't really even been on Facebook or social media. Took it off my phone. And just, pop in every now and then and see what's going on. And I just had a few observations. I just felt the urge to get on. Watching the world go by. Let me get this. There we go. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, a lot of things are up. A lot of things are going on. It's interesting, when you're not on social media every single day, and plugged in like that. It's amazing the things that you can observe. Not being so connected to it. And that's part of what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to get on, see what's going on, tell people what's been happening with us. And obviously there's a lot been going on over this summer. Now we're into September. We just went through that eclipse a couple days ago, and now we got the equinox that a lot of people have been forecasting as a very pivotal time that's upon us. But yeah, just kind of interesting to be able to look at some of the stuff going on. I put on here elections, predictions, economies, MSM, NASA, lucid dreams, channelings, downloads, transmissions, gifts, codes, and keys. So, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. And it's good to be touching base uh, and just checking in and seeing what's happening with everybody. Um, like I said, Morgan and I have been on a, I don't know if we ever actually had a honeymoon. We had a honeymoon for 4 days when we got married in 2018 in a flea bag hotel in a poor part of town. But we've been in Mexico now um, for what? All of August, a little bit of July, and now into September, about 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks. And yeah, we've been enjoying ourselves, just isolating ourselves, following our guidance, still doing sessions every day. We've been recording them. We put one or two out. But yeah, I just wanted to touch base and see what's going on. You know, if you got any comments, anything you want to bring up or whatever, feel free. Suzanne Davis, long time no see. Sligo, Ireland. Danny Kelly, Laura Ormsby in Corpus Christi, my hometown. Um, yeah, I've just had a lot of observations, and I know a lot of us, really all of us, have been going through massive changes and transformation. Obtaining more code and uh, more experience, and just trying to put everything together. There's a lot of different expressions out there on social media. It's interesting. I joined X. I haven't really done much with the account, but looked around to see what people are putting out there as a whole. And like I said, I haven't been on Facebook at all. I really can't get on. I try to get on, and I can't really stay with it. I can't sustain it because it just doesn't interest me for a variety of reasons. Part of which, part of what I might talk about here. But it just it looks like everything that got us to, I don't know where the demarcation line is, but everything that got us to this point, recently anyway, seems to be not the same as it used to be. A lot of people have written me messages asking about Sology, and you know, I feel like Sology. I said this at the third and what is now so far the final Sology Fest in December. First thing I said when I got up to the mic was, I don't know what's going to happen to Sology from here as far as my involvement, but I feel like it'll always be around, and I see that every day when I see the connections that have been made through Sology. Different people, couples, friends, groups, pages, shows, and it's really nice. It's nice to see that it's had the impact it did. But it feels to me like there is, a whole new uh, band of frequencies have become available onto the earth over the last few weeks, maybe months. Uh, and I've said for a long time, perhaps the biggest challenge we're going to have is getting used to the new vibration, what people call 5D or call the new Earth. Um, and and it seems to be that we keep waiting for the shoe to drop, and maybe there's not a shoe to drop unless we think there is. There's so many things we could talk about. I mean, obviously, the mainstream media hasn't changed. It's still pushing whatever the hell the powerless powers be uh, want to push, and I find it interesting that we would believe anything that they say uh, when when they've never been truthful in the first place. Now, again, these are fellow souls and fellow experiencers that we're all playing a role, and we know that neutrality is really the way to navigate this thing, and that's not a situation where just because you say it, it's true. It's actually a mindset, a heart set, um, a spirit set or frame of mind of the three. Soul living, where your soul, your heart, your mind, everything's infused into one, your spirit, and that's what guides you. Uh, and obviously, there's a lot of, pretty, from a human standalone perspective, there's a lot of wild things happening. No need to mention them all, but I mean, I think the main reason, that I got on today, I woke up this morning and I told Morgan, I said, I'm going to broadcast today because I feel like that, to some degree, for myself, I mean, I haven't been on social media. I don't really pay attention to mainstream media. I watch a few platforms here and there just to stay up to date. But the thing is, I think we sometimes forget, what the real reason is that we're here. It's not to be, we've tried everything else, but ourselves, and I think to be present with ourselves and each other, and with our life is really what this is all about. I'm not convinced that Kyle Luga or any other thing that we can talk about, any narrative. I think that any narrative has the potential to distract us, whether it be a light worker narrative of the Pleiadians or Arcturians, or whether it be the mainstream media feeding us stuff or whatever the case is. Um, I woke up this morning and I thought, what's the name of the game here? I mean, how do we know that there's not an ascension every 100 years? How do we know anything? I mean, it's that old saying, I don't know anything, and that's not such a bad place to be. Um, it really isn't. Nothing's everything, and everything's a golden child. What is the golden child but the new energy that we've been, you know, I don't want to say prophesized, but that we've been given in terms of information and code that's brought us all together, and so much of this world together over the last 12 years, since 2012, and even for some, obviously, before that. But, I see in the light worker circles when I do get on, and of course in the regular mainstream, I mean, just typical stuff, where people are latching on to certain belief systems, whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump or one side or another on a dispute or a war or an issue. We can go right down the list. All these things seem to be potentially able to take us away from ourselves. And I just wanted to jump on today and just kind of give myself a reminder and get my feet wet. I don't know what I'll be doing, or Morgan and I'll be doing, as far as how we serve humanity and that type of thing as we go forward. We're just kind of enjoying our time together and taking the time to be in presence. We've had a lot of pretty incredible experiences we may talk about one day since we've been back together in the flesh. But I got to think that, as the individual goes, as a couple goes, so goes the collective. So I think there's been a lot of self-reflection, less and less projection, out there, more neutrality, more expressions of the Trinity energy. And I think it's important that we remember why we're here. What do we have? What do we have left over, regardless of everything that's going on or everything that we have or don't have? What's the one thing that you always have? When have we been the most present with ourselves up until this new energy's been coming in the last few weeks or months? I was thinking about this. Where have we always been most present with each other? Why did we have the dark night of the soul? We had the dark night of the soul where we put ourselves in that universal isolation due to circumstances and consequences. And we started to develop a communication with the you, me, we, and it. Uh, and a lot of us, we heard these stories for many years on Soul Speaks 5D of how people had a dark night of the soul, and through that dark night of the soul, they discovered certain abilities and skills and memories and all that stuff, I've got to the point where I realized that it's all the same thing. It's all information. It's all code. It's all intel to allow us to have a bigger palette to paint from. And as we move forward and really start to think about, what is it that I want to do and who do I want to be with, while we're detaching or shedding belief systems and have tos, and it's got to be this way and it's got to be that way. No, this is about us. This is all we have right here, right now, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, whoever you're with. Um, wherever you're living, whatever you're doing for service or vocation. Um, we can make the best of every single thing that we're doing and who we're being with. Um, and obviously, there's been a lot of prophecy about this time. But how do we know that stuff wasn't invented 100 or 200 years ago, and all the books were changed, and all the information was changed, and our memories were swiped, and all that? We don't know anything. We don't know anything. I spend a lot of time, looking at just different things, and no longer really feel the need to feel that I know something more than something else, or that the moon or the sun has power over me, or we're all made of the same thing. We are the atom. We are the atom in the flesh, and I feel like that this is a big experiment, a big experience where we can actually be in this very thick density, and actually learn something about ourselves. And therefore, the one mind, the one heart, the one soul can learn something about itself, because it can't, as itself only, manifest into a body. That's the fractals that we are. But yeah, I mean, this is it seems to be enough coming through for enough people consistently and long enough that we're all kind of coming into alignment in terms of what we're receiving, and there's got to be some truth to that. But uh, at the same time, I think in order to be open, you've still got to question everything. You got to question everything. We take on these belief systems, no matter what it may be, because don't forget, there's something called psychotropic warfare. Where thoughts can be implanted, and all these other boogeymans out there, and this and that. We are uh, all that ever was, and all that is, and all that ever will be. And we happen to be in the flesh and conscious with a whole group of friends and family, um, that's on this crazy journey, that doesn't really know what's going to happen. It's interesting. Morgan made a comment the other night. Like I said, we've been doing sessions every day, pretty much every day. And like I said, we've been recording them, but we haven't really released anything. We've had some incredible, monumental, fantastic expansions and experiences, as we always have when we were together in the flesh, and even when we weren't. But um, she said the other day, as a lot of people talked about, losing identities and losing labels, and she said, it's like everything that I thought I was is gone, and I'm moving into the true me, which I don't know what it is. Now we have kind of an advantage, I think, over at least in some cases, because we're in it together. We've been together 9 years. This earlier, well, September the 3rd was 9 years since we met in the flesh on Facebook Messenger. But I think that's part of what it is. I mean, there's a lot of things we could throw around, like forgiveness. I mean, one of the things that I see a lot of is people shifting away from these biases and prejudices that they have. It does kind of amaze me that there's still a lot of polarization in the light worker community with, like, different issues like the Trump and Kamala Harris thing, and you know all of this stuff in our external existence. Every bit of it is information, um, that's allowing us a broader spectrum to choose and make choices in our life about. And that's the way that we've kind of understood it, Morgan and I. And she's talked about it for years. Just you get to another point where you make a different choice, and I think that's really where it stands. We're all conditioned. We've all been through it. Nobody's been through more than anybody else. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. We all had a human experience. We all chose to come here. As a result of that, we've all went through some pain and suffering. It seems like that we're being given the opportunity to now start to expand and learn without all that pain and suffering, but with ease and grace. Um, and it's only as real as we make it. But yeah, Morgan and I have experienced a lot of presence. It's been a phenomenal period of time for us. First that 30 days in Canada, where we couldn't spend the night with each other, and had to go back to our respective places every day. I think it took me 14 days to get from Canada to Mexico and to finally share the same bed after 38 months. But given all that, the choices being made may seem like they're small in your life. It may seem like uh, you know, doing something crazy doesn't have the impact. When I say doing something crazy, listening to that voice that's gotten you to this point, got me to this point, and that goes against the grain, and you do it, and you think, well, I'm just one person, and how can that impact the world? Well, it does impact the world. It impacts the world when we defy the ruleless rules and the lawless laws of this world. It impacts more than the world. It impacts everything. Everything's connected. It impacts all across our multidimensionality, each other, our lineages, and so on. And I really feel like that the small things that we're approached with and that we come across every day, is becoming more and more obvious that these things not only alter in flow and in ease and grace the experience of our life, but they actually contribute to the greater good. The Trinity energy, a lot of people have different takes on it, but I mean, ultimately, the Trinity energy um, is me, the other, and the collective. And those things that we think, say, and do, where all three are served equally in equal degree, uh, are the things that really make this world go around in a way that it hasn't for a long time or maybe never has before. So, yeah, just a little reminder today, without going down the laundry list that I put up, with elections and predictions and economies and mainstream media and NASA. NASA's one I'd like to talk about briefly. I've always had the luxury of questioning everything in my own mind. Um, and I look at NASA as an example. I mean, here we are, we know that this institution, which is playing a great part in our experience, and I say that with the greatest reverence, as I would with the Illuminati or the Masons or anything else from one end of the spectrum to the other. These are all gifts, these are all part of our experience, but just for a point of context, you know, I don't believe any image that NASA shows me. I don't believe, not that I disbelieve it, but I don't believe anything they say. And I find it interesting that, on one hand, we have been conditioned to have a tendency, whether it's NASA or CBS or, the World Economic Forum or whoever, the church or whoever that, the organization or entity might be, where, where we will take some of the things that might be put out by a certain entity or institution like NASA, and because it fits our narrative, the paradigm of our narrative, we run with it. Oh, look what NASA said. NASA said this human this, and NASA said this happened or that happened. But then on the other hand, things come out that are obviously erroneous, and we damn it. And I guess what I'm trying to make a point here is that it's good to question everything. I mean, you can't be open if you're not questioning everything, even yourself. And I believe this is what we've come to. We've come to the point now where we can trust ourselves, and we don't have to get that fix from something outside of ourselves. We can actually say, you know what, I'm going to listen to myself now. I'm going to listen to myself now, and not get that I want to say false validation um, from something external. And I would even look at astrology, something like that. I mean, I feel pretty confident, and I feel good in the graces of what's been produced by that consciousness, because that's what it is. There never was a book or a doctrine or any dogma attached to it. It's just about people. And that's kind of why I wanted to get on today, was because I wanted to just go back to that and that's where what brought us together, and that's what seems to remain. And if you take everything away from your life, every single person, every single place, every single accreditation, every single trauma, what do you have left? You still have you, which is you, me, we, and it. But I was going back to the point about even, comparing NASA, say, to a soul gene. Everything provides a spectrum from a range of what you might call dark and light, or negative and positive in the chemical sense or the scientific sense. And depending on who you're talking to, uh, it's a different scenario for each and every person. Um, but I just want to say that I feel like this is a time for people to really take stock in themselves. I always understood it that the universal energy would put you in isolation and remove things from your life until you got to the point where you did choose yourself. And I think many of us, if not all of us, have done that. And we still fall back into the old, and we still get induced to go back in this habit or that habit or this belief system or whatever the case is. But the bottom line is we're staying there less and less, and we're moving into this new energy. And like I said before, maybe the biggest challenge we have is getting used to the way this new energy operates, which doesn't operate like it used to. I mean, there's no expectations, there's no give and take, there's so many things that don't apply. And it's kind of weird, and I think that's one of the things that people have talked about over the last few months is how strange it feels. It feels weird, and again, we feel like the shoe's going to drop and something's going to, the rug's going to be pulled out from under us. And again, if you look at obviously mainstream media, and you look at just so many other different entities, be it the Vatican, be it, so many places on the internet, even the internet itself. I personally think that if it's necessary and for the most positive, uh, greater good, that the internet gets shut off, the electricity gets shut off, whatever the case is. You know, who's to say that's a bad thing? I mean, whatever it takes for us to go back to ourselves and to to rely on ourselves and to trust ourselves and to love ourselves, then so be it. Bring it on, let it happen. But yeah, I just wanted to get on today and remind myself, and share with you and maybe remind others to remember what this is all about. It's about you and me. And it's not about the election, it's not about the economy, and it's not about all the doomsday stories that are coming down the pipeline. We are literally, you can say it many different ways. I'll just say it this way: we're literally gods and goddesses in the flesh, and the only thing keeping us from expanding those attributes and abilities and skills and gifts and magic is our own lack of belief. We've believed in so many different things that have let us down, uh, and we've tried everything else, and let's try ourselves now, and let's see what we can do. But yeah, I don't know what we'll be doing from here, um, but we're going to be on the move again here in about another 2 or 2.5 weeks, and we're going to go hang out someplace for 3 or 4 weeks, and then be on the move again. Uh, we're both, like a lot of people, kind of stepped back, and just kind of not really making any moves or anything, because there's something about this new energy that it's all about feeling. It's all about how you feel and how something makes you feel. It's not about right and wrong and this and that. It's literally based right here within yourself, or with a couple or with a small group or whatever the case is, a family. How do you feel? Does it feel right? No force and no resistance is flow. And I'm not really sure what we'll do from this point, but we certainly both want to serve as we always have. And we're working with the third energy and doing sessions every day to get to that point, and I'm sure it will come and we'll figure it out. But Yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, 30 minutes is long enough for me these days. 30 minutes and 30 seconds. So there's my sign. It's good to see everybody. I wish you all the best. Healing, peace, love, and comfort, blessings and grace. And hope to see you around. And just remember, like my old coach in seventh grade football used to say, Tacano power, TCONO, to take care of number one. That's not a selfish thing. We all know that now, and that we honest. And if we can do that in alignment, that we're actually serving each other in the collective in equal measure. That's the Trinity energy. And it's been good talking to you, and see you around. Take care.